Welcome to the Get the Bag podcast. I'm your host, Kelly, and today I have Donald Martin with me. Thank you for joining us today.
I'm glad to be here. It's an honor to be here today. Thank you very much.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about what you do because in our pre-conversation, I mean, like you were killing it.
Yeah. It's a lot of things. I have a lot of hats, but I definitely I'm a comedian,
Yes.
and I've been doing comedy. March 2nd, March 20 years that I've been doing comedy.
20 years in the
So
game.
yeah, it's been a roller coaster, but like roller coasters, you're scared to get on them, but when you get on them
Hmm.
and you get off, you want to get back on it again. So that's what I do.
Absolutely. So tell me what inspired you to start in comedy?
It started with my family.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother was very hilarious. Like my grandmother, my uncles, and my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So people where we grew up in Flint. People would come over our house on Saturdays
Mm-hmm.
just to hear the whole family get together and just joke, just have crazy stories and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So really embodied all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just living their dream by being
Awesome.
on stage.
So what made you take it to the level where you made this like your main hustle, like this made it your thing?
Well, because I breathe, I eat
Mhm.
comedy, and so what happened is comedy had become a demand, and so I had to
Mhm.
make a decision.
Mhm.
Do I loved my job, but my career?
Mhm.
So should I do my career or do what I was created to do?
Mhm.
So I took the creation
Mhm.
versus the career.
And so a lot of my students, I teach a 6 week free business training class,
Oh, that's pretty
and they
cool.
have to make a decision at some point whether or not they are going to actually quit the job or whether they're going to pursue their dream,
Right.
right?
Okay.
And so that is an awesome point where you said, you know what, I had to make a decision. Like this is for me.
Right.
That was your passion, right?
Yes.
So tell me what you wish you would have known before you took that leap.
What I would have known, just the business, the follow up, the network, because I don't have a name like you. I haven't been on HBO or Comedy Central,
Mhm.
so I literally now have to follow up with comedy clubs. I got to get
Mhm.
proper taping because I
Mhm.
may have some taping that may be recordings that's not don't sound as crisp for the recording or
Mhm.
for the comedy club.
Okay.
So I'm out there making sure my presentation is well, but
Mhm.
also following up because there's a dime a dozen of comedians. There's so many comedians
Mhm.
out here. So what makes me stand out? So I had to learn the business of presentation,
Mhm.
audio,
Mhm.
all that comes a part of what I do.
Okay, so you studied it and you
Yes.
figured it out. And I love that you talked about making that connection, right?
Right.
Because follow up is so important no matter what business you're working in,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So that is absolutely awesome. You over here dropping gems, by the way. So take the
Yeah.
gems, y'all. Take
Take the
those
take the
gems.
gym because can I add to
Mm-hmm.
that? Like people don't understand that being successful is building relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can be all talented. It's a lot of talented people out there
Mm-hmm.
in whatever genre or whatever you do. But when you
Mm-hmm.
start building relationships with people,
Mm-hmm.
that's how you become successful. Because then when I build a relationship with an individual, then that gives
Mm-hmm.
me the right and the ability to ask what I
Absolutely.
need because they see the relationship that we have.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about, y'all. Asking, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times we're afraid to ask and make that presentation like, hey, I need this or I need that. And I know I definitely feel like that holds some entrepreneurs back, right? Because we get that mentality of let's do it by ourselves. I'm gonna do it on my own, right?
Right. Because when you become an entrepreneur, there's no plan B. Like I don't have a plan
Mm-hmm.
B. When I get on stage, I have to be funny
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have a job to go back to and say, oh well, I can go back and
Mm-hmm.
work my job. I did okay. No, when I go in any situation, I'm like, you're gonna know that Donald Martin, aka for show, is in the building.
Mm-hmm.
And so my success building relationship, even with the owner, club owners, when I build relationship with them, but
Mm-hmm.
also it allows me when I do get up and see the relationship I build with them, then I can ask them, when am I coming back? You
Mm-hmm.
have any other owners that I can connect with because
Mm-hmm.
I have a relationship with you, you can refer me to another comedy club.
Mm-hmm. So I know you talked about earlier that you actually like teach classes and everything about comedy.
Yes, yes.
So tell me more about that.
So I teach. It's a 6 week course I have. It's called Class Clown Academy.
Mm.
So, and the whole purpose is really I want to get the youth involved in that to
Mm-hmm.
do the class clown because a lot of our children are considered ADHD or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you would see them in the classroom and they'll make you, even though you may be mad at them, they'll make you laugh. And so, what I want to do is redirect them and teach them
Mm-hmm.
comedy 101, how to write a joke,
Mm-hmm.
how to present a joke. Your first joke and your last joke needs to be
Mm-hmm.
your funniest joke, and then I in between that I teach them how to write a 5 minute set, a 10 minute set, a 15 minute set. So when you go on
Mm-hmm.
stage or when you do a talent show, you are having it in order because once again, all you're doing is telling your story.
Mm-hmm.
So however you grew up, you teaching the child. So all that energy you have, let's
Mm-hmm.
put it on paper and let's present it to the people.
Mm.
Because what I'm gonna eventually do, I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I'm going to have a talent show. I want to. The craziest thing I want to do, I want to do like a comedy battle, like say Kip High School, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, versus Tech, versus. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Y'all heard it here first,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's gonna
So
be a comedy battle. It's
yeah,
going
comedy
down.
battle. So, and it's not that they talking about each other, but
Mm-hmm.
we will have a citywide talent show where you
Mm-hmm.
got Tech High School, if Ripple still, whatever schools are still open,
Mm-hmm.
township. So then we just doing a comedy show, and it can end up maybe you don't verbally, but you maybe
Mm-hmm.
do a skit that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
So we just want to do it that way. So that's what I
Awesome.
want to do. Teach them that you could
Mm-hmm.
be a class clown. Uh, you could be a class clown, just not in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Use that outside of
I
that.
got two students for you already.
All right, let me know. And I teach them. I teach them how to write
Mm-hmm.
because I took writing class.
Okay.
I took because understand I took writing class and I write because
Mm-hmm.
my audience is not just blacks.
Mm-hmm.
My audience is white. My audience is Latinos or whatever. And so I've learned to write. I could say one joke
Mm-hmm.
that like let me just give you an example like African Americans, blacks, Negroes,
Mm-hmm.
we got different names that depends. When you starting the joke,
Mm-hmm.
they already laughing already because they are familiar with what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. And how you intro.
And so right, so they be like, they already with my Caucasian or my
Mm-hmm.
white crowd, they wait till you finish to get to the punchline
Mm-hmm.
and then they laugh. So I've learned to write jokes where so when I write for African American crowd, we don't need description because we already know what it is. So,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll say we'll enter a room and we'll tell her where there was a lamp in the right corner and it was this, that, and the
Mm-hmm.
other. We give you descriptive of what it is in Africa. With the white crowd, they just want you to get to the punchline.
Mm-hmm.
And so I learned how to do both.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So it's really knowing your audience. And that's the biggest part of a business, right? Because without the audience, there's no business.
There's no business, and so I do also do a marketing class as well.
Okay.
So I have a marketing class actually Monday is branding your
Mm-hmm.
marketing your brand, which I teach about the very thing you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about, knowing your audience. You got to know what is my target audience, like
Mm-hmm.
what is my purpose. If I got a
Absolutely.
brand, if I got a T-shirt, if I got shoes, if I got something, who am I going after? Also, what does success look like to me?
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to understand, like when I do my comedy shows, one of my business mentors, she told me, Donald, it says 500 people. What makes this show successful for you?
Mm-hmm.
Because what if you don't get 500 people? That don't mean you fail. What does it look like to you? I
Mm-hmm.
said, well, I need 350. Well, I got over 500 people there,
Yes.
but to me, success looks like 350. And that's the thing in being an entrepreneur. If you compare yourself to someone else's success,
Mm-hmm.
that's a comparison is a dream killer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of people, because you're looking at somebody else and saying,
Yes.
man, I've been doing this longer, but they got more. No, in an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
you got to stick to know your audience and what you're doing and believe in what you're doing, because trust me, it's going to come to
Mm-hmm.
pass.
So where did that belief come from?
My belief came, my faith in God, but also what happened, because I grew up with insecurity. I grew up in a single parent home, the ugly duckling, my lips, all that. So I'm nappy head from Flint. I'm poor, all that. What happened to me really was my January 2nd, 2021 was
Mm-hmm.
it. I was driving 4 hours a day down to Clarksville, Indiana, for as
Mm-hmm.
sales. I was losing money, and I took a lateral move because I was in the car business. So I left one car dealership that was 20 minutes away
Mhm.
to go to a dealership that's round trip 4 hours a day.
Wow.
It didn't even make sense. I'm
Mhm.
losing money, gas, all
Mhm.
that. But on January 2nd, they gave me my codes to become a manager, a
Mhm.
boss. That 9 months that I did all that driving back and forth,
Mhm.
2,000, 3,000 miles
Mhm.
a week, I knew right then, ain't nothing I can't do.
Mhm.
And so January 2nd, 2021 is that's my date where I'm unstoppable.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's for me.
Awesome. So, what's going on now? What are you doing right now? And just tell us how we can get connected.
So right now, what I'm doing is I have classes, but right now I'm getting prepared to move to Atlanta, Georgia.
Mhm.
I'm moving there end of August. So I have a farewell show August 21st at Martin University, which is very important to me
Mhm.
because it's historical. It's the only PBI or predominantly black institution in the
Mhm.
state of Indiana. It's not an HBCU because it came after like 1964,
Mhm.
whatever the cutoff line. But I'm partnering with them, and so
Mhm.
they're going to do my farewell show. And
Awesome.
so it's just an opportunity for people to celebrate with me on the accomplishments because I could Indianapolis made me.
Mhm.
Like I wouldn't be who I am if Indianapolis like I carry Indianapolis with me wherever I go
Mhm.
to let them know. So we're gonna celebrate.
Mhm.
I got poetry, I got praise dance. It's not just a comedy show.
Mhm.
It's a variety show where we're gonna
Yes.
celebrate you guys in Indianapolis helping me to be
Mhm.
who I need to be.
Awesome. So, tell me what's next. Like, once you get to Atlanta, we get settled. What you trying to do once you get there?
I got Tyler Perry on speed dial.
Yes.
I'm just playing. But anyway, no,
Y'all heard it first.
yeah,
I don't
but
think he was playing.
yeah,
He
yeah,
was
yeah,
trying to
right,
play y'all.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is the thing. So I take acting classes. So
Mhm.
the goal is for acting, comedy, and motivational speaking.
Okay.
And so when I get to Atlanta, is that's to establish comedy is the car.
Mhm.
My passengers are is acting and
Mhm.
motivational speaking. So I'm gonna
Yes.
do all that when I get there. Establish clean comedy, gospel comedy, create a platform for
Mhm.
comedians where they don't feel obligated to use profanity. They can
Mhm.
actually perform. You know,
Mhm.
I got a gentleman that's doing my farewell show.
Mhm.
This is the first time his mom coming to the show because it's
Mhm.
a clean show.
Yes.
So you understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like that's an honor. He's been doing it for 12 years.
Wow.
But the simple fact is, she's coming to a
Mhm.
clean show to see her son perform. So I want to create that because
Yes.
a lot of parents, a lot of
Mhm.
gentlemen grew up or women grew up
Mhm.
in church or in, and so but I don't invite my mom if I got to do a show where I know I'm the only clean one, but I got all the other ones are cursing. I'm not about to invite my mom or whoever that I know to that because they got to hear all the other stuff.
Mhm.
And so I want to create a platform. I'm
Mhm.
going to create a platform where people can come in, your whole family can come in,
Yes.
and you go to the movies. You spending $100 and some dollars, and you ain't even ate yet.
Yes.
You ain't even you know what I'm saying. You still got to go out to eat. But imagine you coming to a place where for $120 you can get fed,
Mhm.
you can get fed spiritually, you can get fed emotionally and
Mhm.
mentally, but then you got your daughter, you got your grandma, and you ain't got to
Mhm.
worry about hearing vulgar
Mhm.
conversations.
That's awesome. I think that's so needed.
Hmm.
Tell me what inspired. So you said that you want families to be able to come and listen to you, right?
Hmm.
So how has there been? How have you made an audience for that? What have you done to like make that a thing?
Well, with being in the comedy for 20 years,
Mhm.
I just whether it's stuff that I do on Facebook or social media,
Mhm.
letting people know, or I built going
Mhm.
back to building relationships,
Mhm.
going back to building relationships. I create that so when I do things, I
Mhm.
record it or I let people know, hey, I do nothing but clean comedy. Like I don't push the envelope. I don't do that.
Mhm.
I tried it, but my mama almost beat me when I did. So but I'm true to who I
Mhm.
am. Because one thing, a person told me at one time, a comedian told me this a long time ago. He said, in order to make it in this business, you're gonna have to use profanity.
Mhm.
I'm like, nah, I don't believe so.
Mhm.
And so I just stuck to my guns. And I've been successful.
Mhm.
I travel all over from the East Coast to the West Coast
Mhm.
doing clean comedy.
So how have you kept all that balance as an entrepreneur and a comic?
Um, being an entrepreneur, you have to plan. You
Mhm.
have to like every day you got to plan your day, and that's
Mhm.
tough for me. Because
Mhm.
when you used to working for somebody, you
Mhm.
know, you really you figure out, well, I didn't know I had this much time. Because
Mhm.
even being an entrepreneur, you be forgetting what today is. I'd be like, is today Tuesday, Wednesday? You
Yeah.
don't even time. You don't even think about
Yeah.
time. And so as an
Mhm.
entrepreneur, you balance it. You now you got to figure out. You got to
What you're
literally do a
doing.
to do list. You
Mhm.
literally like when I wake up, I gotta go work out. I gotta what I got going on. I got this going on. What's on my
Mhm.
calendar? And so then you like,
Yeah.
then as a comedian, then you got to deal with, because I do, at this point, I do my own negotiations when it
Mhm.
comes to contracts and when it comes, so now you got to be like this and you got to be like,
Mhm.
okay, I can't take this price, but you have this. Then
Mhm.
all that goes into, and then you have to prioritize. Now you got to come to the point where
Mhm.
your time is valuable. So you can't just do what everybody else do.
Mhm.
Your time is so valuable where you may not go to sleep till 2 in the morning and got to
Yeah.
get up at 6 a.m. and do it all over. And sometimes as a comedian, you understand? I tell people all the time, making 200 some thousand dollars a year. You talking about making? I made my best month. I made 25,000 in 1 month.
Mhm.
My mama never made that in almost 2 years. So
Mhm.
understand that
Yeah.
going from 25,000, then as an entrepreneur, you don't even know what you're gonna make.
Yeah.
You don't. You just. I hope I can pay my cell phone bill.
Yeah.
You
And I
know.
don't think a lot of people realize that starting off because they think, oh, I'm supposed to have all this money in the very beginning, right? And they always see like the finished products of people who have made it and they are making this money and they get discouraged when
Mm-hmm.
that first month, oh, I only made $2,000 and I got to make my ends waving at each other, right?
Yeah.
And so understanding that it's a process, right?
It's a beautiful process. One
Mm-hmm.
thing I learned, and just because of my faith, like
Mm-hmm.
I let have in my faith, because even in the entrepreneur, you go through, you lose people, you
Mm-hmm.
lose when you go from $200,000, you know, and then people that depended on you, now no,
Mm-hmm.
you no longer, hey son, I can't pay your car note,
Listen.
you know. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I can't do that. I can't do
Mm-hmm.
any of them things. And so understanding once you become an entrepreneur and you do these things, you go
Mm-hmm.
from that, and then you thinking
Yeah.
this is the day. But then you sometimes you go 3 steps forward and then you get knocked back 10 times, 10 steps. And so then what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do?
How have you gotten up?
How have I gotten up? I trust in my God.
Mm-hmm.
And really, and I'm like, God, I'm going through all this. God said, I never called you to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I called you to be prepared.
Yes.
That's what I live off of being prepared.
Come on now,
You're not,
preacher.
yeah, right. So because we get as an
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur, we think we got to have everything right,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you thinking, oh, this got to be the day. I didn't talk to in front of in LA. I didn't talk to multi-millionaires. I'm talking about a guy,
Mm-hmm.
owner, CEO of a travel company in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, I'm sitting at the table with him. This man, I know he got at least a couple 100,000 to give me. Have a nice day. See you later, sir.
Wow.
And then you be like, I thought this was it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go on to the next journey, and you thinking it becomes where you thinking this got to be it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you find out that ain't it.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do, how you get back up, it's gonna happen, but I don't know when.
Mm-hmm.
Because God even told me, he said, if I'd have told you everything up front, you would have never done it.
Mm-hmm.
If I'd have told you everything up front, you'd never done it. And see, because I'm who I am, preacher, who I am, I read the word. God showed me it's clear as day. God said, I want you to read Noah. I'm like, God, come on,
Mm-hmm.
man. Noah, I said, really? I said, because my mother's a Sunday school teacher. And I read Noah.
Million
When you were
times.
in Sunday school, you'd have read Noah probably, you didn't read Noah for 1,000. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm playing with God. Because I talked to, I'm like, well, Noah, blah, 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 blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah, 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 blah. And then I got to a point where it said Noah sent the raven out because it was water.
Mm-hmm.
He sent the raven out. The raven came back. Then it's the Bible says he sent out a dove.
Mm-hmm.
Dove came back. He sent it out the third time. The dove never came back.
Mhm.
So I'm tripping at this point. I'm like,
Mhm.
God, wait a minute. You've been talking to Noah all this time. You told him to build an ark. You
Mhm.
couldn't tell him it was dry land? Come on, God. I mean, really. And then the Bible says, a couple verses down, the Bible
Mhm.
says, God spoke.
Mhm.
So I said, God, why'd you speak to him? Why you want to speak to him now?
Mhm.
He says, because I need you to move before I speak.
Mm.
See, we've been taught how I get up. We've been taught, God, tell me what I need to do. Speak to me. Tell me what I need to
Mm.
do. God said, no. I need you to move and then I will speak.
Are y'all listening? I hope y'all listening.
I need you to move,
Mhm.
then I speak.
Mm.
So that's how I get up. When I get up, and it's funny, I've been talking to God and God don't say nothing.
Mhm.
Then I play with God. I be like, God, well, it is seven
Mhm.
billion people in the world, so you probably paying attention to them. You ain't got time to talk to me. That's how I talk to God. How
Mhm.
about getting up? And then I get a call from Channel 13 saying, I want to interview you about the
Mhm.
Dave Chappelle situation. And God says, now I'm talking.
Mm.
So that's how I get up.
That's
Because
what's
it's
up.
a venture every day. It's a roller coaster. You know, have you ever been to Kings Island or wherever you've been? They got roller coasters that go over your head while you
Mhm.
in line. And you be looking like, I'm about to get on that.
Yeah.
I'm about to get on that. And people yelling and screaming over your head, and you in line to get on,
Mhm.
and it's 200 degrees there. But you get on,
Yeah.
and you know, you go up slow first. Click,
Mhm.
and you hear the change. Click, 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 click. And then when you get
Mhm.
to the top, it stops.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, there's a rush. Woo, woo,
Yeah.
woo, 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 woo. The very thing you seen, you doing now.
Yeah.
Woo, 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 woo. And then the adrenaline rush, you're scared, you're done. But guess what you do? Most people get right back on the same ride.
Yeah.
That scared. That's what an entrepreneur. Every day is a roller coaster.
Yes. This
It
this is
is.
this is you dropping it today.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
and this is free.
Yes. It's
Because,
free, y'all.
but this is the thing. Like that's why I tell you, like I'm passionate about what I
Mhm.
do because I'm just a tangible person.
Mhm.
See, Disney make a lot of money, billions of dollars off of fairy tales.
Yes, they do.
I am literally a fairy tale.
Mm.
But you actually can physically touch me and say, I know somebody that actually is making it
Mhm.
when it don't seem like they're making it.
Awesome.
Because it's my piece.
Oh man. I mean, it's hard to follow that, y'all.
Yeah. You just
um.
got the right person. This is what I was born and created to do.
Yes. How can we find you?
How can you find me? You can find me at the gas station. No, I'm
We gonna be right here on 25th and Keystone, y'all, at the
uh,
Shell.
so you can follow me. So um, my page is I got two pages.
Mhm.
So you can follow me on Delivering the Funny on Facebook.
Okay.
Delivering the Funny, Donald Martin for show. FOSHO. You can
Okay.
follow me on Instagram. Is for show FOSHO 413. A lot of people ask what 413 is.
Mhm.
Philippians 4 and 13. It says I
Okay.
can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So you can follow me on that platform. I am on TikTok for show FOSHO 7575. And I'm trying to see what else am I on.
Did you get Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram
Great.
is for show
So.
413. Facebook is Delivering the Funny. Oh, also I have the Your Winning Production. So
Okay.
that's another page that I have that I gotta really get more involved
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming out and
in. Sure.
sharing with us today. I hope y'all were listening because he was straight dropping gems today.
Hmm.
Um, that was absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
So, as we always say, we got to do what?
Get
Get
the
the bag.
bag.
The evolution of your small business starts today. Sign up for our partners Verizon Small Business Digital Ready platform, a free service to you to advance your business. Check the link below and click on that, and it'll take you right to our Verizon Wireless link.